It is a brisk Thanksgiving morning. Happy Thanksgiving to you from the Meadow. If you've not been here before, I'm Michelle, and this is my meadow. I garden on a 1/4 acre lot here in Northeast Florida. And while I'm not an expert gardener, I really do enjoy sharing with you the things that I'm learning. And I'm about a week post-op today, and so I haven't been doing nearly the gardening that I would like to do, and I've got a couple more weeks before I can start doing a little more intensive work around the garden. But I really just wanted to make a video today and say thank you. Thank you for the support of the channel. Thank you for all of the get well wishes that you've sent. I am so grateful, and I am truly thankful for this channel. This is really a very, very happy place for me, and I'm less happy when I'm not able to get out here in the garden or able to make videos to show you. And so I hope that you guys have some wonderful plans for Thanksgiving today. I hope that you have a way, whether you choose to celebrate with just yourself, or you have a Friendsgiving, or you have family that you can be with. I hope that today is special for you too. I know that a lot of people have sad Thanksgivings, and I'm sorry if it's going to be a sad day for you, but just be thankful you're here, you're on this side of the dirt, and you've still got a whole bunch going for you. So I just wanted to sort of share that this morning. We are not hosting this year, which we have for a few years, and so it's kind of nice. We don't have a whole lot to do, but I thought I might bring a side dish if I can glean enough stuff from the garden, because I thought it'd be really cool to do that. I already picked some sweet potatoes last month so that they would have time to cure, and so those should be nice and good. But I spotted some beans over here and some pumpkins, so let's go take a look if there's anything I can do with those for Thanksgiving dinner today. I'm pretty excited to try out this new cart. Mrs. Michelle and my nephew picked it out for me. I can actually sit on it and roll too, so that's pretty cool. It's very lightweight, don't worry. I'm not lifting very much at all. Easy rolling, easy rolling. Oh, let's see what we got over here. Let's see. Let's take a look in here at the pumpkins. I'm not sure. I think we're looking for them to be more orange and looking for the tendrils to be really dried up, and this is not. That's still really green. No, that's still green. Okay, so no. Now this one looks like something has eaten the tendril, but still green around the base. So maybe no Seminole pumpkins out of here today. That's okay. Means we'll eat some later. But I didn't plant these early enough to have them in time for Thanksgiving, I guess. So maybe next time I got to pay more attention. Apparently they're like a 7 or 8 month harvest. So nope, none of these are ready. But it's so funny, just with this little bit of cold weather we've had, all this was green and covered over, and I think time is starting to take its toll on the vines. But still, I grew some pumpkins this year, and there's one more hanging over here. I don't know if I've shown y'all that one on another video. Let me see if I can walk over here gently. Right over here, just sort of hanging in the wind. Oh man, I got tomatoes on the ground. So this one's hanging here too. It too is not yet ready. So we got some last minute tomatoes down here. Let me get those picked. That's kind of nice. I can make a small little tomato side dish, not very big with that. But here, let's get those picked. And my little cart's got a little tiny little compartment there. I'm going to drop all the tomatoes in there. That'll be easy enough. Oh, nature's been picking them for me, I see. On the ground here. when it was time to cut back the tomatoes this year, I just didn't take them out. I just cut back all of the old bits and just let it be, because I was curious if I let it, if it would just keep growing. And it is. And it's like 60, if I had to guess, it's probably 65, 66 degrees out here this morning. We have not had anything lower than 42 yet this year, so that's good. That lets things keep on growing. The big surprise out here has been cucumbers. We'll go around and look at those in a second. Oh man, I had more tomatoes than I realized. The cucumbers are over here. I'll get to those in a second. I cut those all the way back, but I guess some old cucumbers fell off in the bed and resprouted. Like, who doesn't love that? Kind of semi-perennial. No, I guess not. It's just really nature doing what nature does. There's a real jungle in here. Considering how little I've done, how lazy I've been, how preoccupied I've been with my health, I'm thankful for every little tomato that has been gifted back to me. I think it's easy to get caught up sometimes in all the crap we have going on in our lives, and you know, whatever word you want to use for it, but it's easy to get all caught up in how things are not going our way. I mean, I have this, whoo, careful, about tripped on a bean vine. How things are not going our way, and we find it frustrating. We find it difficult. Oh, I could have just come around the easy way. We find it difficult to deal with, because sometimes it's like, gosh, really? Do I really need one more thing to go wrong? But today it's not about focusing on that. Today is about focusing on what we have, you know, having that gratitude. So if you burn a pie or burn a turkey, or dessert doesn't turn out exactly like you want it to, be thankful. Be thankful that you had the chance to make it, whether you grew it, raised it, or bought it. Be thankful that you're here. And I know maybe that just gets old, me repeating that, but I really feel that way today. I was pretty worried about my hernia surgery. Now, a lot of people are like, but why? Why were you worried? Well, I was. I mean, that's just the facts, you know. And so I'm grateful to be here. I was honestly a little worried I might not be. I can't explain where that dread came from or where that mind came from, but it was definitely what I had going on for me. And so I am very thankful to be here today. Just keep knocking them off and then I can't find them, but that's pretty good. Not too shabby. Let's take a look. Not too shabby. At least I have a little taste of tomatoes from the garden today. Oh, we got some eggplants over here. They could come out. I harvested a few more last week. Maybe we could do something with that. Maybe make a dip or something. Oh, a bell pepper down here. I think that's all. Oh no, here's one down here too. Well, let's see what this one's doing. Oh, somebody started having a snack, but we can take back some of that. That's okay. And here are the cucumbers. I don't know if there are any more on. We picked some a few days ago. Here, let me turn around and show y'all that. They're kind of hard to spot down here amongst all of the random and rogue tomatoes that are just falling everywhere. But a couple of cucumbers died on the vine for the old ones, and they started some cucumber plants. Oh look, there's some shishito peppers there. Shishito pepper. And we have one, that's cucumber over there. Then we got a cucumber vine going up right here. In fact, there's a little one right there. But the really interesting thing, and maybe y'all knew this and I just needed to learn, really interesting thing is they were not buggy. Yes, I know. Can you believe it? So maybe, just maybe, here in Northeast Florida, that one's not doing good. I have to think about a better job succession planting cucumbers, because it's pretty wild. I mean, we ate, that one there, still a little small. Oh no, this one's buggy. That's interesting. The others just weren't buggy. Now they were hanging down lower in the bed, but it's definitely fewer bugs than during the peak of summer. So maybe there's something to that. Maybe I need to do a better job at succession planting in the cucumbers. If you have any tips on that, I would certainly welcome it. I did discover this year that I am allergic to the cucumbers, so when I'm done out here today, I've got to go in and do a good soak down, because apparently I have reactions that I didn't know I had to those tasty little morsels called cucumbers. Let's see if we can find any beans here for today. I think I may be in for a rude awakening. I think a lot of these are just too, well, I mean, I can shell them, don't misunderstand, but I don't have a lot of young beans that I could just use as snaps. These are Thai long bean, and they're very tasty bean, but if I can figure out enough of them here, I don't mind shelling them. And we're not having Thanksgiving dinner until 4 o'clock tonight, so that's not a problem. I just can't reach up and get the ones that are up there. So we'll see. There may not be enough. It might just be a side dish of beans. It's okay. It doesn't matter. For me, this is one of the things I have dreamed about from the meadow for the entire time I've been gardening, is to have something on Thanksgiving Day that I grew. And so even if I don't have enough to make a full dish to share with everybody, I've got enough, at least for one bite for everybody. I mean, come on. That's got to count for something, right? Oh, that's a nice little snap. It's not too bad. Hey, I can just toss it down like that. One of the questions that came up from someone was, how do you know when to shell or snap or what have you? Let me see if I can show you at least what I've sort of figured out is, if I catch them here to where the pod feels a little empty, I can feel that there are beans in there, but I can sort of open it and peel it back. These I will shell and eat the beans, because at this point, you can see the difference in the different colors. At this point, the hulls are just too tough to eat. This size, this is great for snaps. The beans aren't fully developed. The future seeds aren't fully developed. And so anything like this where it's got its color, for me works great. I probably could have waited a little bit, but since I'm trying to glean enough for a meal today. And this is not a bad size right here. And this you can cook up and just make snaps out of this as well. It doesn't shell as easily. It's harder to get the thing open, but you still want to string it, because it is a little stringy, and I usually just pull from one end and then pull from the other and give it a tug when I can. I didn't get the tug good on that one, but I may peel the next snap from here and just pull that string right down, because I don't like that string texture in my food. So I can sit and do that today while I'm in recuperating mode. That'll be good. I think we might have enough to make a small mess. At least where I'm from, a small mess means a portion, a serving, a dish. Is that, I haven't heard, actually I haven't talked to a lot of other gardeners about it, but is a mess something that you all use as a measurement? Because in the South it's a measurement, a mess. But I don't think there's a quantifiable amount to a mess. Like a mess of greens could be a whole bunch of greens, or it could just be a small dish of greens, at least as far as I'm concerned. If y'all know different, let me know down in the comments. Let me know down in the comments, because y'all know more than I do about most of this stuff. I'm just here recording myself learning and listening and taking your advice when I can, and being darn happy to be here. Now, I am not plucking the dried beans off of here. They do not have a place in the dish for today. Honestly, this is funny. I don't know if you can see. This branch was leaning over to the bed and the beans took hold. And I have beans growing on the other side of the tree. Check this out. Look over here. I've got beans growing off of the side of a pecan tree. Give me a snap here. And how I pick them is I just roll and they come apart. We do have a lot of ants that love being on these sweet pods. So sometimes I have to shake the ants off so that I don't take them with me in the house. Sometimes I just put everything in a big bowl of water so the ants float off. I really don't want ants all over my kitchen counter with all the other food we have there we picked from the garden. So now I can say I picked beans from a pecan tree. Seems funny. Seems funny to me anyway. I kind of like things that are unexpected, so that's all good. Let's get over here some. A little twisty twist. Twisty twist. That works most of the time. At least with the beans, I don't have to worry about bruising them if I toss them down. And a pod like this is right on the edge of drying, but this will make an easy sheller. Easy sheller, snap, sheller. But once the pods have dried, I don't try to use those in with any fresh bean cooking. They just do something different with them. Honestly, a lot of them are probably just going to go end up in compost or in the compost pile or chop and drop. And then I'll end up with a ton of beans wherever I chop and drop them. It's okay. No problem. I do like, it's kind of fun, these Thai long beans, and they can grow really long and you just get the bean part, but they don't grow as long as some of the other Thai long beans I've had. I've had Thai long beans that grow 1.5 feet to get to that shelling stage, but they still taste better younger. And so that probably has been one of my bigger lessons over the last couple years, is figuring out when to pick stuff. Like, I don't always know. Like, I want to maximize the food that I'm getting, but there's this balance of getting the picking done before the plant decides that it's created enough flowers, because that's one of the goals, you know, of the plant is to drop its seeds and propagate. And once it's done enough seeds, and I don't know how it works specifically with tomatoes, but once it drops its seeds, then it is it's ready to take leave because the next generation is ready. And so, man, look at these tomatoes just falling off over here. Be really careful. There's some bean vines on the ground. I've got a few more cucumbers up here. They're too little still yet. So it is sort of this dance, I don't know, for lack of a better way to put it, this dance of sort of knowing, and I think it just comes with time. I mean, we can learn a lot from watching YouTube videos. Gosh knows, I've learned so much from so many creators, and especially from y'all, because I do stuff and y'all are willingly giving me advice on how I might do it better, what you would recommend. And I am incredibly grateful for that. Oh, look, there's that gratitude again. I am, because I really feel like this is my little village. when I get out here and I make a video and talk with y'all and I ask questions and you respond. Like, it is such a blessing for me. Let's see if I can reach. I think I can reach this high. That's not too stretchy. That might be the height of my stretchiness there. You know. But the nice thing with these purple ones is they've got these Thai beans, they've got just a little bit of purple on them. So they stand out just a little bit from the vine when you're looking around trying to see them. But inevitably you walk past a whole bunch. You walk past a whole bunch looking for them. Those are too high. Now, some folks often ask, where's Mrs. Michelle? Why isn't she out here helping you? Blah, blah, blah. She has been waiting on me hand and foot for a week. Hand and foot. I haven't had to lift a finger. And I am thankful for her and I am thankful for that. But this morning she's sleeping in. And so I'm not doing anything that's outside of what I'm allowed. I'm just enjoying being outside and having a little, you know, me time in the meadow, which I've not had very much of. Of course, I'm bringing you along with me, but, you know, I'm moving slow and steady, and so it's okay. It's okay. But honestly, if I had asked, she would have gotten up this morning and done camera work for me or whatever I needed. So to show my thankfulness for her, I'm letting her sleep in and I'm bringing all my loudness for as much as it is outside. I spy another bell pepper under here. I spied another bell pepper under here. Yay! Up. Somebody's been enjoying him a little bit, but that's all right. That's okay. Some people have asked, would I eat this anyway? Absolutely. I mean, what you see in the grocery store for vegetables, that's not how they look all the time. You know, you get stuff like this. I'll cut this open. And if everything on the inside looks good from here, I'll eat it and I'll just cut that part away and leave that for compost when possible. So that's what I do. Now, I can't do it right now, but the other cool thing about my little cart is it's a sitter roller. I can't quite sit squat style after my surgery yet, but it'll be nice on the days that I'm working on smaller parts in the garden or working on lower parts of the garden, that I can just have my little wagon with me, stick my tools inside, and scooch myself across the meadow, around places. Can't wait to be well enough. Maybe I'll just try slaloming and down the hill. No, I'm not really going to try to do that. I don't want to land on my bum. I don't need to make any more health problems for myself. I really do not. Oh, there's some beans over here I didn't see. This is good. This is good. This, I think if I could call it anything this year, this garden has been set it and forget it. And I get out here and get some food every once in a while. I have not. Of all the years I've gardened, I've probably been out here less this year than before. But kind of the cool thing is once you start getting your systems established, there's less and less to do. You know, so I want to do a better job this year with my irrigation. I did install it. We did get a lot of great use out of it. I discovered some things that I could have done a lot better. And so I'm thankful that I've had the chance to learn and figure it out. And so, I mean, I don't have it completely figured out yet. Like, I still need timers and some other stuff like that, a little more timing. But definitely can tell the difference from this side of the meadow. This is the north and the other side is the south. I had irrigation on almost every bed in the north, and it just kept harvesting, because I could easily come out and it would take about 10 minutes for me to do the watering. I'd set a timer, I'd come out, start the timer, water half, change some valves around, start the timer again a couple hours later, water the other half. But I realize some of the inefficiencies in that now. I mixed and matched some of the different kinds of irrigation, and they need different times to run, so I'll do better. I mean, this is only, while I've been gardening, I started learning to garden 10 or 12 years ago. This is only my third serious year of gardening here. Well, fourth maybe, my fourth serious year of gardening here. And so, you know, you can't expect to master everything even in just a few years. And there's a lot of seasonality. There's a lot of other factors as well, you know. And so it's just like layers of learning. Instead of like the analogy of peeling back the layers, I think I'm layering on knowledge, you know, and layering on things that work for me. I watch videos, I try things, I ask questions. Companies send me stuff to test. We see if that works in our garden. I'm always grateful for that too. You know, looking to see if I got any beans overhead. Most of these are down low, which is okay. They're pretty hard to spot sometimes. Let's see. Yeah, that's the max of my reach. I got this African blue basil here in my face. Now everything smells lovely. It's all I smell now is African blue basil. If you've not watched my channel before and you're here for the first time, I propagated my African blue basil from one plant, and now I have, I don't know, golly, 25 or 30 different plants around the garden. And it just grows. It just wants to grow. And it's great for the pollinators. I would say that's probably the other thing that has really helped my harvest. Having the African blue basil means I have more pollinators. More pollinators means I get a shot at more food, you know? And so I'm letting nature work for me. I'm using plants to attract workers to help me grow food. And the African blue basil is just super easy. I haven't cooked anything with it yet. I suppose I could make a pesto or something today. I've heard that tastes pretty good. But the smell of it is so strong, I have my doubts about how it will taste. But maybe I'll just have to get over that today. Maybe I'll just have to get over that. I even got beans hanging out here on the Cataly guava. That's funny. I didn't even notice these over here. Stump those ants off. Oh man, we've got some mini bell peppers here that need to be taken off. I'm leaving all of the ghost peppers for when we got ghost peppers and reapers. I'm not touching those without gloves, but these I can take off. Oh, some are going to come off by themselves. Good. Fine. Yeah, Mrs. Michelle couldn't tell the difference one day and grabbed one of these and took a bite. Not one of these. Not the same. Not the same. It was not a pretty day. That's when I was traveling and everybody was helping in the garden. I'm not going to pick all of the green ones, but I did pick a few. These are great. Now, they're so tiny. They're kind of hard to slice up. This is actually a bigger one, but now I just take the top off. I cut it in half and I put them in the freezer until I need peppers for chili or whatever. Salads. Well, I don't usually do the frozen one in salads, but I could chop them up in quarters even. And it's small enough for me. I like crunchy bites, especially in chili. Like, I like a chunky chili. I want you to be able to see it. I like my chili to look like a stew. And so this, I just half or quarter it, depending on the size. Chop the top. I don't worry about the seeds. If they're seeds, they're seeds. They're not spicy. They're really, really tasty. But we'll get the red ones off of here. There's quite a few. And this is just one little plant. Now, I did not start with seeds on this. This was a start from the nursery. And it was called a Cajun Bell. Cajun Bell. And see, some of them are really, really tiny. Look at this. Look how tiny that one is. This turned out to be a better Thanksgiving harvest than I expected. I'm kind of psyched about it. But I can also tell my body saying, hey, maybe time to sit down for a bit. So I may have to come back and finish this in a little while. I promised y'all I would listen to doctor's orders and not overdo it. And I intend to keep my promise. Let's see any more red ones on here. Let's get all these red ones. And then we'll go sit for a minute. Of course, I spied something over here, so I'm gonna take a look. Oh, this bell pepper is starting to turn. I think I'm gonna leave this one because we don't have too cold weather this week. See if I can get a pepper of another color other than green. Just gonna peek at the okra. No tender okra, one that's too long and everything else is just blooming. I cannot believe I still have okra going. That has also been funny. We lost all the plants, or almost all the plants blew over during Helene, I think it was. And so they were very tall, like 10, 12 feet tall. They just all blew over. So my helper took the saw as instructed and just cut them off. And let me show y'all. They didn't care. They didn't care. Look at that okra right there. It just came on back. It just started putting out more sprouts and growing everywhere. So I have some more experimenting to do with okra about topping it early and forcing out a lot of small, shorter side shoots. That is definitely on the menu of testing. Let's take a little break. I already had my coffee this morning, so water, 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 water. Let's take a look down here. See what we got. Hey, not too shabby. I got tomatoes. I've got Thai long beans, mini bell peppers, regular bell pepper, some eggplant. That's enough for everybody to have a bite of beans or two today. And plus, over on the other side, I may be able to gather some more. But first, I'm going to rest for just a minute. One of the things that's kind of cool about using like Google Photos and stuff like that is it puts me some timestamps. So November last year, we were also fighting with the raccoons. Those were some of the persimmons we managed to get last year. We still had some tomatoes. I was trying to see if there's anything else fun in here. Oh, I was working on another garden bed. Man, this time last year I already had the dragon fruit covered up. We haven't had quite that cold of weather yet, so I have to see what we need to do about that. I don't know, it's wild. This is my third Thanksgiving with you all. I can't quite wrap my head around that, but I am really grateful, and I hope that as the years progress, I can continue to provide some joy in your life and some value in your life like you give me in mine, because I truly love interacting with all of you, your questions, your comments, your criticisms, as Ms. Brown from 8th grade would say, questions, comments, criticisms, because we learn, we're a community. That's how we help each other out, you know, by doing those things. All right, let's move on over to the other side and see if we got anything else here that we can put together in our Thanksgiving dinner. Oh yeah, we got a nice mess over here too. Look at there. Twisty, twisty. If you see me banging them like that, it's because I spot an ant. And I just try to... Oh, the rosemary. I was like, what does that smell? Oh, rosemary. Rosemary. Yeah, if you see me banging them, it's because I see an ant on there and I'm just trying to knock the ant off. Yeah, and I don't want to take ants to my kitchen counter. That just doesn't seem like a good move. And see how easily that one opened? Good sign that that's a sheller. Good sign that that's a sheller. So, I would love to hear what y'all's plans are for Thanksgiving today. Tell me some things that you are grateful for. Tell me about some things that bring you joy this time of year, or any time of year, really. I would love to know. I really do. It's so nice hearing about the great things that are happening for all of y'all as well. I got to tell you, when I made my first video, when I was, oh, hello friend, please don't bite me. There we go. When I made that first video, putting together the garden beds, I really had no vision of this. I really had no, no plan, no idea, no grand plan. Oh, let me fix that. Nothing. I didn't know. I mean, I knew a little bit about making videos, but not at this level and not at the pace I started out at. And so, you know, I've gotten to learn a lot and share that knowledge with other people. And I've discovered that I've even encouraged some other creators, which makes me excited. I have a friend that I know from work that's starting a channel from Singapore. So that'll be a lot of fun to see what she does with that. I don't know. It's just kind of neat. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? I sure wouldn't. I'm going to have a little bit of work to do this morning. I like it. I like it a lot. We did, y'all may have seen that. I'll stick a picture in here too. We did even pick some bananas this week. So that was kind of fun. They were ripe. They got to ripen right on the banana plant. I did not say banana tree. I repeat this for everybody all the time because bananas do not grow on trees. Bananas are in the herbaceous grass family. They are an herb, and they are the fruit of that herb. And so, but at any rate, we did pick some, and oh my gosh, so sweet, so delicious. That's the first time since we've been growing bananas. This is our third. I think I started that banana circle in 2021. I think I started in 2021, so it's the 3.5 years old now. But that's the first time we've been able to let them ripen on the vine or on the plant. We did have another set ripening, but the raccoons, we believe, helped themselves, and so we didn't get to enjoy those. They took the entire bundle, some 15 or more bananas. One day it was here, and the next day the entire thing was completely gone, and it was chewed through. It wasn't like some neighbor came and helped themselves or something. They chewed through it, and you could see all the evidence of that. Bless those little raccoons. Bless them. But I mean, the reality of that is, I have the privilege of living with this as my backdrop, and across there is about 8 to 12 contiguous acres that lead out to a creek. There's a creek here and it goes to the creek the other way. And so I have the privilege of not having backyard neighbors. I have the privilege of not needing a fence back here. And so I just have to live with the fact that nature lives in nature, and I got to figure out how to get along with it as best I can. You know, I mean, what else am I going to do? So happy to have this place. We've been here for 5 years. And actually, I should show y'all this, because I shared this on my last live, but I don't think I've told everybody else. I probably should make a video about this, but in the past, you all have asked me about this back here. And in fact, this may be one of the things that I am most grateful for this year, aside from having my health, even though it's had its moments, and Mrs. Michelle and our family, we had the opportunity to buy this land behind us. And so what you're looking at here, past the beauty berries, from this post right here across, and about 1,000 feet in that direction, and about 300 feet in that direction, 2.5 acres now belongs to us. There's some easement here for the city to help manage the creek, and but we now have this as protected. That is ours, and we don't have to worry about somebody coming through with a bulldozer and taking away our view ever again. And that is thanks to Mrs. Michelle and all of her hard work for making it possible for us. And I am super grateful, because it gives us a beautiful, peaceful place as we continue to age and get closer to retirement, to be and live and enjoy. And I don't know what we're going to do over there yet. We have some ideas, but for now, it's ours, and we don't have to worry about it. We just got to maintain some of it and take care of it and enjoy it. And I'm super grateful that we can do that. So thank you, Ms. Michelle, for that special gift for me. Now, if you haven't seen this before, these are beauty berries. I could make a jam out of them, sort of an astringent fruit. It would require a lot of sugar to make it palatable, but instead I grow this and a few other things out here so that the birds have something to eat, because having nature close, even though I whine about the raccoons, having birds in the meadow, having them be here, means they also eat the critters that want to eat my food. And so something else cool to have. It looks like we got a lime on there. That lime is just about ready to pick. I could pick that today too. So far, this orchard row has worked out pretty good, though I've got to get my irrigation up here, because the plants have not had as much water as they need. Because we went through a really wet spell and then a really dry spell. Haven't really had anything in between here this season. It's kind of hard to believe. Now let's get back over here and find some more beans. Oh wait, look. I wonder if there's another orange here. Maybe. This one looks about as ripe as the other one did the other day. Huh, maybe not yet. Not yet. And if I need any limes for today, here are some key limes. So I've got that as an option too. If anything needs a little lime zhuzh, maybe we can have a sparkling water with some lime. Another idea. Beans everywhere. Yes. We're going to have a nice mess of beans today. Wonder if I've got some bacon in the freezer. If not, I know I've saved some bacon grease, because I'm good for saving bacon grease whenever I get to cook bacon, which isn't very often. It's not something we eat nearly enough of around here as far as I'm concerned. When we do, we like to get the really good bacon and enjoy some delicious bacon. I hope to get more and more locally sourced meat. That's one of my goals for 2025, to get local where I can, to buy grass-fed as much as I can, to really think even more about my food's footprint. I don't know, I think the more you garden, the more aware you become of what cheap food, grocery store food, processed food is doing to your body and this awareness. I think it makes you want to grow more and more of your own food, which is kind of what's happened to me in a good way. I mean, I literally started with watching Mark on Self-Sufficient Me talk about those birdies beds, and then found Kevin, and then discovered that Kevin was selling them. And then I wanted to do a test, and all at once now, between the beds that I bought myself, and I bought more than half the beds in the yard, and different companies sending us beds to test and try, you know, we now have, I think it's 17 garden beds here. I don't even know. I'll have to count. Make a video about how many. And so it makes gardening so much easier. I can do this today. If all these were on the ground, if this was ground gardening, I wouldn't be able to do this post-surgery like this. So it's nice that it's up and I can do most everything I need to do sort of waist high or chest high, as it were, with the beans. I don't have to crawl around on the ground to get the lower ones. I mean, there's a few because the vines have dropped beans and they've made more vines, but you know, this makes for some pretty easy picking on things like the bell pepper, tomatoes, stuff like that. In fact, this bell pepper here, I'm going to see if we can get one more year out of it. The other two got too wet during our rainy season and they succumbed to something, but this one is still trying. It's still here. So probably just before it gets freezing, I'm going to come in and maybe cut it back to about a foot tall and wrap it with some leaves or something until the spring, just to see if we can keep it alive and keep it going, because it'd be kind of fun to do a third year of peppers. This is the second year. It'd be kind of fun to make it a third year. In some places they say peppers are perennials, and so the difference between a perennial and annual really has to do with your climate. I think it's less about the plant and more about the climate. And so in places where it gets too hot or too cold, some things don't last, right? And so like I can't grow, so far as I know, I can't grow rhubarb here. Rhubarb, it's just too warm here for me to grow rhubarb, but other people plant rhubarb and it just grows year after year after year. Down in South America, peppers grow into trees. They aren't just little plants like that. Since I've been gardening, my fears have gotten better because I am a city girl. Y'all need to know, I am a city girl. I grew up, I could see red lights from my house. I grew up, you know, on a busy street where I wasn't allowed to play in the front yard because cars drive by too quickly. And so when we moved, we're still in the city here, but when I started gardening, I had to become accustomed to meeting critters in the garden. So spiders, snakes, beetles, grubs, Cuban cockroaches. Some of them are green. They're actually very pretty. And of course, earthworms and all the other kind of critters. A lot of them are helpers in the garden. You know, we don't like to talk about the roaches and the beetles and some of those, but they help decompose the waste in the garden. They give us help in the garden. And so while that may seem crazy, I'm grateful. Let me try to say that the right way. So while that may seem crazy, I am grateful for all of these critters because they help feed me. And that seems like a strange thing to say, I know, but it's true. They do. Ooh. Maybe I'll try to make me a sponge. Oh, I don't want to break that off. I need my cutter. This one looks pretty good and it's not too mildewy. I'm going to soak that and see what I can get. I have learned though that apparently there are ways to get the sponges out of the green ones too. So I'm going to try that and let y'all know how it goes. Hey Moose. Hey Moose, how are you? What you doing, buddy? Here. For everybody who loves seeing Moose on the channel. I think he's been behind me most of the morning, but there he is right over there on the patio. Moose, you want to say good morning to everybody? Hey, Moose. No? Okay. Just going to sit there and stare at me? Okay. He's a protector out here. He keeps an eye on things. Pretends like he knows what's going on. And that's fine. He's good company out here. It's funny, in the mornings now, he'll come around the front and greet us as we're getting ready for our day, getting ready for heading to work. But he hides. He hides under the bushes, so we just hear this, meow, and we're like, what was that? We look, there he is. Just keeping an eye, making sure he knows who's coming in and out of the front of the meadow. He wants to know what's growing on out there too, or actually, I guess up there it's just going on. Though we do have sweet potato vines there. I think I've gotten just about everything there is to get today. And a runny nose. Just as the temperature's already warmed up, I am already quite comfy out here. I bet it's closer to 70, 71 now already. There's one more batch of bananas right there. There's a batch of bananas up there. Oh, let's see. A batch of bananas in there. And a batch of bananas right here too. Wowsy, wowsy, wowsy. And pretty soon, as it gets colder, these are going to die back, and I'm probably going to let them just hang down like those are. See all the brown ones there? Because as they die and it folds down, it gives protection to the trunk of this very thick, tall, chunky grass. And that gives us some delicious fruit. And then maybe one year, these dwarf banana plants will give us some fruit. We've only had them bloom one time, so I don't know. But I'm still holding out hope. But the tall ones, which I don't know what they are, I originally thought they were Java, but they are not, because someone told me, looking at the knuckles of the bananas, they're definitely not a Java. But hopefully one day we'll see even more. Do some more pruning, clean some things out, and give them a chance to keep on growing. My friends, thank you so much for joining me on my Thanksgiving harvest today. I am thankful for you oh so much, and just appreciate you being here with me. If you were trying to figure out what's next for you in your garden, what you want to do next, maybe YouTube can offer you some inspiration with this video right over here. Until next time, my friends, please remember to drink plenty of water, wear that high quality sunscreen, and have a happy, happy Thanksgiving. There's the final haul. Looking pretty wonderful.